welcome to another vlog. Up street, any roads. It's a new series I'm starting where literally I go up the street on any road and we look at some of the history of the places where I am. I'm currently on the corner, a very noisy corner of Warrington Road here and Kemble Street. This is where I grew up. Well, around the corner on Kemble Street, but this is where I used to play. I'm here for a particular reason. In front of the old Plough pub. It used to be a pub. Now I think it's accommodation now. It's converted. Like all the pubs in Prescot that tended to close down. I'm here for a particular reason, and that is that almost 100 years ago, something quite remarkable happened almost on this spot. Well, it wasn't quite on this spot. If I was to be on the spot that it actually happened in, I'd be standing in the middle of the road and I'll probably get knocked over now. So I'm not going to stand in the middle of the road and show you exactly where this spot was, but I'm going to tell you about it. 100 years ago, there was a film crew actually on this corner. Well, it wasn't exactly 100 years ago, it was 1927, and it was filming literally thousands of people coming down Warrington Road here and coming round the corner here onto Kemble Street, and it was the walking day procession of the Prescot Church Sunday School. And there was literally thousands of people, Prescotians, in this film. Now, this film was only discovered less than 20 years ago in a projection room at Birkenhead Town Hall. It was with other films and stuff like that, but there's not much known about the film. It only lasts for about 6 minutes, and it literally captures a snapshot of how Prescot was in 1927. It's a fascinating piece of film, and what I've done is, rather than just show you the film, I'm actually doing a vlog about it, so let's have a look at that. Okay, here is the original footage as it appears on the Northwest Film Archive, and you can see in the bottom right hand corner is NWFA, which is their logo, which they tend to put on everything. The stamp of ownership, as it were, but this is a public document in my mind and it belongs to people. So what I've done with this film, the film is dated, all we know about it is it's dated 1927 and film number 6462, and it was found in a projection room at Birkenhead Town Hall. It's a 35mm silent film, which is a standard type, and silent film is N, which refers to the shape of the perforations on the edge of the negative, apparently. And what I've done is basically I've slowed it down slightly for the sake of this video, and I've also lightened it a bit because it's a bit dark, and I've put a sepia tone on it. So hopefully it should become more enjoyable to watch, and we should be able to see more of the detail. I've also speeded it up and slowed it down and replayed it in various points of interest as we go along, hopefully to eke out more of the fascinating things that actually happened during this video. This window into 1927 and this corner of Prescot should be quite fascinating. Hopefully, I hope you enjoy it. So this is the enhanced footage that I've edited, and as you can see it here, it's a procession of 1,500 scholars headed by Canon Lovett, who we'll meet very shortly, and he was the vicar of Prescot Parish Church. Interesting footage at the start that shows the war memorial at Prescot Parish Church, which used to stand in Church Street. For those who don't remember, it was moved in the 1970s to the back of the church where it is now. It was unveiled on the 9th of September 1916, the first memorial of its kind anywhere in the United Kingdom. The Prescot Parish Church Band was formed in 1894 on the suggestion of several members of the senior men's Bible class. Watch out for this man with the euphonium here, because he appears in another video that I'll be doing shortly. The uniforms for the entire band in 1894 cost £43 and 10 shillings for the lot. One of the very first people we see is Canon John Lovett, who was the vicar of Prescot between 1919 and 1939. He'd come from St John's Church in Pemberton, Wigan. He took up his curatorship here in Prescot. Lovett was fondly remembered in the parish, and many people described his time here as being a golden era. Notice this lovely lady coming towards us here. She gives a lovely smile to the camera. People weren't as used to cameras as they are today, so it's no surprise that a lot of them don't know what to make of it and view it more as a curiosity rather than something to pose. Like we do today, we seem to always see a camera and we tend to pose. Now watch this. This is interesting. I'll just rewind that. It's a dog, a stray dog that comes out of the crowd here, obviously off a lead. Well, latchkey dogs were common, even in the 60s, I remember. Here's a dog from 1927. I wonder what happened to him. Or her, as the case may be. All these children and people turned out in the Sunday best. They took great pride in parading through the streets, don't you think? And I wonder if we'd ever get that today. I don't think it would happen today for some reason. It's interesting to have a look at the crowd as well, and realise that, these are our ancestors. If you were born and raised in Prescot, a lot of these people, you may not realise who they are, but they would be related to you. They would be your relatives, relations. These look like Sunday school children, and notice how they're all separated into girls, because girls were educated separately to boys, even in Sunday school, and that went on for a long time. Fascinating also to see the hats. Look at this lady give a lovely wave to the camera there. You can't help but watch film like this and wonder what kind of lives these people had. Remember, this was only 9 years since the end of the First World War and 12 years before the start of the Second World War. These are the interwar years, 1920s, 30s. And so life must have been hard for these people. But there are plenty of smiles here enjoying the simple pleasure of walking around Prescot. Hats were a big thing in the 1920s, don't you think? It's virtually everybody's got a hat on. And if you're a student of fashion, walking days, perfect opportunity to gen up on your 1920s fashion statements of the day. Talking about hats, look at this girl. What a fantastic hairdo. These hats, by the way, were called Cloche hats. It's kind of like, I wonder if that's from, gardeners. They have these like bell-shaped cloches that go over vegetables. I wonder if it comes from there. Interesting. I mean, you can always tell it's 1920s when you see a hat like that, or early 1930s. I wonder how many of these hats were made in Josephine Baker's milliner's shop at 30 Eccleston Street, now the home of Poco Coffee. The term flapper was used to describe young girls, or trendsetters as they became known. They were very fashionable, trendsetting, and rebellious, you might even say. Now, this is interesting. Watch this guy come in from the right here, and he's actually moving the walkers and rerouting them away from the camera. Looks like he's part of the camera crew, and it offers an insight into exactly why this film was made. Filmmakers would make films of great crowds of people and then show them in the local cinema for a penny or twopence in the hope that people would come and watch their films. And it's interesting to note that the Limehouse Cinema in Eccleston Street only opened a few years earlier in 1922. It would have been a great thrill to see yourself on the silver screen back in the day, don't you think? I must say, these walkers are being very good-natured and being rerouted like this. He was dapper, wasn't he? You may have noticed that Warrington Road was still cobbled in the 1920s. That's a nice view up Warrington Road. It's worth having a look down the other way to see what the walkers were walking towards. And this photograph shows the corner shop and the Plough Inn on the left, the BI water tower beyond, and the Elms houses, the long gone Elms houses. The Plough Hotel, or pub, was originally called the New Road Inn and was a coaching house when this was a new road. It was called New Road. And it was a Greenall Whitley's pub, and you can see the logo, which I've enhanced here, which was the etched glass in the window there. And Greenall Whitley's was founded in St Helens in 1762. And the brewery was closed in 1975, for those who remember the brewery. This is the BI Silver Band, a bit more flashy than the church band, you can see. I wonder what they're playing there. I don't know, but the little girl on the right is having a good old bop, isn't she? Okay, here come the schoolboys with their masters walking alongside them of various ages, and obviously no standardised uniform as such. I'm not sure which school this is. If you've got any ideas about that striped tie and the uniform, perhaps you could leave a comment. Yeah, interesting. You may even recognise one of your grandfathers or great-grandfathers or father even in this parade. Who knows? There were several schools in Prescot. There was obviously a Prescot Grammar School that was just moved to St Helens Road at this time. There was the board school, which was on Warrington Road, which was further up from this parade on the right-hand side from where we're looking now. There was Beaconsfield Street School. Obviously, a Church of England school would have been amongst this parade as well. And I'm not sure about the Catholic school because this is mainly a Protestant parade from what I'm gathering. I will upload an unedited version of this video so you can watch it in silent mode, and I'll put that in the historic footage playlist. Look at this cheeky chap, he looks like he's in a band. Very young Mick Jagger. It's also very sobering to think that when these boys are in their 20s, many of them will be going to war for a second time in a generation. The senior men's Bible class. Now, of all the information that's been given from the start of this film, now that makes 1,760 in total that's been announced. But if you take into consideration the bands and the people watching, it looks like the entire town's turned out for this procession. Isn't that incredible? Wasn't that fascinating? Yeah, it's a snapshot of Prescot almost 100 years ago. And it's just, I find stuff like that really fascinating, especially when you dissect them and slow them down and look at them in more detail. Another thing happened here historically, wasn't 100 years ago, but it's probably 55 years ago, when me and my mate sat on this corner here in 1967, and I sat in a pram and I dressed in adult clothes as a little boy. I put little strings around them and I put a mask on, and it was penny for the guy. I did a penny for the guy just on this corner here, and it was for the people coming in and out of the Plough Inn. So you get all the drunks coming in and out, and they would say, shout, penny for the guy, penny for the guy. And when they'd give us a penny, they usually threw it at us from over the street, because we were on this side and the pub was there. And they would throw the coins at us, and every time they did that, I'd get out of the pram and do a little dance. So that's a bit historic, isn't it? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you'll join me again for another Up Street Any Roads, and where I'll go around somewhere else in Prescot and let's have a look at the history of that place. So, thanks for watching. Bye. It used to be known. And that was the Eagle and Child there. Yeah.
I was drifting on, not a hope in view, but when I thought I'd lost everything, I found you. Clouds were all around, sunny days were glad it I found you. How can I express, dear, all that's in my heart? Gladly I confess, dear, I loved you from the start. I'm so happy now, and I'm thankful too, for today my prayers were answered and I found you.